Check, check. We apologize for the delay. I request all of you to put your mobile phones on silent. Good morning to one and all gathered here for the prestigious Alumni Award ceremony. I'm Sharon from the Office of Alumni and Corporate Relations, and I'm humbled to be the MC for the event. I request all of you to please rise for the Tamil Thai Valthu, followed by your national song, Vande Mataram.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரிதனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. வந்தே மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் சுஜலாம் சுஃபலாம் மலயஜ ஷீதலாம் சஸ்யஷாமலாம் மாதரம் வந்தே மாதரம் शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी फुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं.
Please be seated. I invite Professor Mahesh Panchagnula, Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning. It's a delight to have these occasions where we recognize a small fraction of our alumni who have gone well above and beyond all of our collective expectations. And today we have amongst us 9 such individuals from varying walks of life who have made a difference to many different endeavors that impact us on a day-to-day. We are thrilled. We are thrilled to have this group, only about 150 out of a total of 56,000 alumni globally, who have achieved this mark of being named a distinguished alumnus of IIT Madras. Not to mention that to even in the beginning to become an alumnus, these 56,000 people had to compete with millions. So it's a remarkably small and remarkably distinguished group that we are here to recognize today. We are indeed even more thrilled that this event is happening in the Central Lecture Theatre for the first time, where many of us started our student life being welcomed by the director of that day. And here we are with Professor Kamakoti, the director of today, honoring a small fraction of us as the distinguished alumnus. We welcome the families who have been an integral part of our alumni journey, to this very special occasion, and we look forward to the morning. Thank you again.
Thank you, Professor Mahesh. I now request our director, Professor Kamakoti, to address the gathering.
Friends and alumnus, very, very hearty welcome back home to IIT Madras campus. I fondly remember teaching Vyas, and I'm very, very happy, Vyas, that you are a young achiever today. Congratulations, and congratulations to all the winners of the Distinguished Alumni Award. Friends, I just want to basically brief you upon what is IIT Madras today, your alma mater. We have now moved into a very important motto, IITM for all. We are now reaching, we have a very big outreach. We have a BS in data science and programming, where more than 25,000 students have joined, and more than 30% of them are below poverty line. And they, if things go well, they will be our very proud alumnus at some point of time. We have also started a BS in electronic systems. We are the first IIT, the first ever IIT to set up a first ever abroad campus at Tanzania, Zanzibar. And I'm very happy to tell you that we have started the classes there. So it started on October 24th, it happened to be the United Nations Day. We are running 2 programs again, BS in data science and AI there, and MTech in data science, and we will be opening up multiple courses there. Another 2 interesting touch points, we have also poked our nose into medical. So we have a Department of Medical Science and Technology, wherein we are trying to bring medical and the engineering disciplines together. We have admitted more than 30 BS students. We have a state-of-the-art BS in medical sciences and engineering. We admit them through the ICER aptitude test. I'm very happy to tell you that out of 125,000 students who write that test, in the top 100, we had 22 of them joining this program. We have also started, as we flow with the tide, we have started a Department of Data Science and AI, and we plan to launch a very novel program on machine intelligence and data science, which will be much different, very different than what everybody else are doing. So we would like to take certain leadership role. On the overall, we have touched 400 startups which we have incubated, and the recent evaluation gives us around $5 billion for these startups, which are now housed in, many of them have graduated, and many of them are housed in the research park. And I'm sure many of you will get an opportunity to visit our Center for Innovation, where we are nurturing more and more startups. Our agenda today, in the next 3 years, the first day of placement, IIT Madras headline would be 20% of the graduating class have either become CTOs or joined companies which are incubated by IIT Madras. And that's the way we are progressing. And last, we are also very focused on protecting our IPs. Last year, we had 243 patents that have been filed, and in which we have a grant of around 179. This year, we are almost moving towards 366, being a leap year, a patent a day, and we have already touched 245 in the last 7 months since April 1, 2023. So friends, these are the directions in which your alma mater is moving. I request all of you to participate, engage yourself, and guide us. Whatever you feel that we can do to improve our contribution to the society, the way we become more relevant to our society, we are always open to those ideas, and with very open hands, encourage all of you to involve yourself and encourage your batchmates, your juniors, your seniors, anybody to please engage yourself with the IIT Madras. Thank you very much, and wishing all the awardees great future and a very hearty congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. It gives me great pleasure to invite the first recipient of today's awards, Mr. Madhavan. Sir, please join us and be seated on the dais. I now request Professor H.S.N. Murthy to please come forward and read out the citation for Mr. Madhavan.
It's an honor for me to introduce such a distinguished, alumnus for the second time in last 2 years. He was also the chief guest for our department convocation in 2021. Thank you, sir. Shri R. Madhavan, retired as Chairman Managing Director of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. He obtained his MTech degree from IIT Madras in aircraft production in year 1987. He joined HAL as management trainee in 1982. In September 2018, he was appointed as Chairman and Managing Director of HAL, the premier aerospace and defense engineering company in India, a Navratna public sector undertaking. Shri R. Madhavan was associated with HAL for nearly 40 years. He served in various key positions across different verticals within HAL. Prior to his elevation as CMD of HAL, he held the position of Executive Director, Accessories Division at Lucknow. Shri Madhavan, with his rich and varied experience, had provided solutions related to intricate technical problems and strategic issues. He provided valuable inputs as a member of Tri-Service Committee for High Altitude Operation of Helicopters. He had also extensively contributed to Government of India's Make in India strategy by developing MSME sector vendors for aerospace manufacturing. He had set roadmap for enhancing self-reliance and self-sufficiency through indigenization efforts for obsolescence management. He promoted development of alternate technology leading to product improvement and reduction in cost. A very important aspect towards development of engineering and technology in aerospace industry is availability of skilled manpower. Shri Madhavan, in his capacity as Chairman of Aerospace and Aviation Sector Skill Council, contributed immensely to meet the challenge of skill development. Here I also would like to add one thing from our department side. He was also instrumental in aerospace department starting a web-enabled MTech to cater to the needs of industry. And we started that with first time with 20 participants from HAL. He facilitated that. Thank you, sir, again. Shri Madhavan had also taken several initiatives, implementation of which have brought in systemic changes, transparency and process improvements. An avid reader and active in professional societies, Shri Madhavan is a member of Aeronautical Society of India. For his immense contributions to the Indian aeronautics industry, IIT Madras and its alumni are proud to confer this award upon Shri R. Madhavan. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Murthy. I request our director to honor Mr. Madhavan with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2021 and adorn him with the Angavastram. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Mr. Madhavan. I now request Mr. Madhavan to deliver his acceptance speech.
Director IIT Madras, Professor Kamkoti, Professor Mahesh, Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations, distinguished friends and colleagues. It's great to stand here in my alma mater and receive this honor. I thank IIT Madras for selecting us for this. It's been a long time since we left this place. CLT, he was telling, this is the first place where we come in when we joined the institute. We remember the Gajendra circles and all the hostels which we used to go. Just took a walk around once. I used to come here off and on for other reasons, but the thing is, when you're coming from Bangalore here, it used to be just a one-day affair. You never used to, one day means even few hours affair, I used to go back. So today I think I will have the time to see the campus around. I'm just waiting for doing that. I've been coming here because of the Innovation Center. We were looking at startups. If you look at it, of course, HL has been doing fine now, which I've been leading till last year. It has its own developed vehicles and platforms, what we call helicopters and aircrafts. But the main thing is that even now, more than 50% of the items and the raw materials basically come from foreign sources. So to avoid that and to become more indigenous in our efforts, we were looking at startups and partners, companies which can give basic accessories to us. So that's how we used to come to all the IITs and to various incubation centers and innovation centers that in Coimbatore and other places. So that was our association here, and I'm sure IIT Madras will move forward. As we have seen, there is a lot of changes from when we left to what it is now. I'm sure that it will move forward, and it will make sure that I will make sure that there are more number of innovators and entrepreneurs who come out of this institute and lead the country in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. It gives me immense pleasure to now invite Professor Rajan Varadarajan to the dais. Sir, please join us on the dais. May I invite Professor Amit to please come forward and read out the citation for Professor Rajan Varadarajan.
So it's my high privilege to introduce such a distinguished researcher and academician. So Shri Rajan Varadarajan received his Master of Technology in Industrial Management from IIT Madras way back in 1973. After securing a Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Engineering from Bangalore University in 1968 and ISc in 1971 respectively. He received a doctorate in Business Administration with a major in Marketing from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst in 1979. Currently, he is a University Distinguished Professor, Regents Professor and holder of the Ford Chair in Marketing and E-Commerce in the Mays Business School at Texas A&M. Over the course of his career, marketing strategy, innovation, and international marketing and environmental sustainability have been his major focus of research and teaching, and areas to which he has made significant contributions. Teaching, research, and service have been his primary aspects of his professional career and are evident from the journal articles he has authored, positions held, and the honors and awards bestowed upon him over his 44-year-long academic career, including 41 years at Texas A&M University. Besides teaching and research, he has proved his prowess by serving as an editor of two very distinguished journals in marketing, Journal of Marketing and Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science. He has authored and co-authored over 125 journal articles, book chapters, a textbook on strategic market planning, and made over 250 presentations at major national and international conferences, doctoral and faculty consortia, universities and other forums. In the recognition of commitment and dedication to his teaching and research, he has been honored with prestigious appointments such as the University Distinguished Professor, Regents Professor, and the Ford Chair in Marketing and E-Commerce at Texas A&M. He also held certain administrative positions at the Texas A&M University, ranging from Associate Dean to the Department Head. His keynote addresses, distinguished lectures, public lectures, and invited presentations at conference plenary sessions reflect his immense contribution to the field of marketing. He is also a fellow of American Marketing Association and a distinguished fellow of the Academy of Marketing Science. He currently serves as a member of the editorial review boards of several prominent marketing journals such as the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science and the Journal of International Marketing. He is a recipient of several prestigious and awards and honors, including the Mays Business School Lifetime Achievement Award for Research and Scholarship that was in 2016, American Marketing Association Distinguished Marketing Educator Award that was in 2015, University of Massachusetts Graduate School Centennial Award 2008, and Academy of Marketing Science Distinguished Marketing Educator Award way back in 2003. In recognition of his remarkable accomplishments and commitment to the field of marketing and academia, IIT Madras and its alumni are proud to bestow the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2022 upon Shri Rajan Vardarajan. In fact, the department thanks him immensely for constituting a new award, Rajan Vardarajan Outstanding Research Award, which will be given to the DOMS faculty each year on the Teachers' Day. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Amit. I now request our director to honor Professor Rajan Varadarajan with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2022 and adorn him with the Angavastram. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Professor Rajan Varadarajan. I now request Professor Rajan to deliver his acceptance speech.
Thank you. I don't know where to begin. Fond memories, if I may. Certain things happen. The students drag us to the 21st century. So the notes I wanted to make, I copied on the iPhone. I'm told that this is the first time the Distinguished Alumni Awards ceremony is being held in the Central Lecture Theatre. I was a lecturer at IIT Madras from 1974 to 76, and I've taught in this very classroom principles of management course. Again, that's what I meant by fond memories. An award from one's alma mater is something very special. I'm honored to be a recipient of this award. I'm humbled to be a recipient of this award. I'll cherish this award, and I'll relish this day. Many of my relatives are here to join me on this special occasion. A few remarks I would like to make by way of thank yous. There is a phrase, President Bill Clinton often uses, if you see a tortoise on a fence post, something, it could not have climbed on its own. Somebody should have given it a helping hand. And so I started thinking about all the people who were paved the way and laid the foundation for me to receive the award today. Foremost was my parents. They made tremendous sacrifices. I know that parental sacrifice is in the DNA of humans. There could be an evolutionary biology explanation for that. But for each one of us, the sacrifices our own parents make is very special. My father, in a way, had a dream that I should study in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and IIT Madras, and both of those dreams materialized. It was not just a pipe dream. He enforced it Incidentally, my father used to work for Hindustan Aeronautics and just an honorary recipient. And two of my uncles also used to work for Hindustan Aeronautics. My father was a liaison. He used to go to often Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, to bring guest speakers or consultants to the campus. And one day he was coming with Dr. Satish Dhawan, who was the director, and he asked my father's son is studying BSc, what should he do to get admitted to Indian Institute of Science? He said, study hard. We admit 90 students from all over the country. And once my father heard that, what he used to do is every day from 6 to 8, he used to sit in front of the house along with my mother, let no guest inside, and said, 6 to 8, you have to study. That's the only way you're going to get into Indian Institute of Science. And so I kind of dedicate this award to my parents for all the sacrifices they made. The next person I would like to thank is my wonderful wife. She's there in this audience. I can see tears in her eyes. It reminds me of Un Kannil Neer Varindal, Ad Ananda Kannir Endra Podilum En Nengil Jarum Kottumathu. That's why I'm going to say what I wanted to say. So, when I finished my PhD, those were the days, 1978, she typed my doctoral dissertation, 3 iterations on a typewriter, on an IBM Selectric typewriter. Those were the days we didn't have any word processors. She used to do it on a typewriter. And, she used to ask, what do I get, the PH or the D part of the PhD? And I said, either one you can take. And likewise, half of the today's award belongs to her as well, because she shouldered so much of my responsibility. I would like to also make a few remarks about my mentors. After I finished my MTech at IIT Madras, I very much had decided I'm going to pursue a career in academia. And there was an ad for a lecturer's position at IIT Madras. And I went to Dr. Anantharaman, who was at that time the head of the department. On a Sunday, I went to his house and said, sir, I want to apply for this position. And I said, if I teach for 1 or 2 years, that would be helpful for me to get a graduate assistantship for a PhD elsewhere. And he said, well, the other mentor I had was Professor R.K. Gupta, and both of them were very supportive, but they said, you need to compete with everyone else who's going to be applying for this job and get this job. I was fortunate and I got the job. So 2023 marks 50 years since I graduated from IIT Madras, 49 years since I started my lecture as a lecturer in 1974, so it is 49 years since I began my academic career. I got married in 75, it's 48 years, 48, 49, 50. In all of these 3 friends, as there is a line in Chakravarti Rajagopalachari's what a composition, Kurai Undrumillai Maraimurti Kanna, so that's how I would, this one. And let me finish with one mark, this one. My students have also, I have had the privilege of working with 40 doctoral students. And when you work with doctoral students, it's very much like the metaphor of Tagapan Swami, where you learn so much from the student in addition to imparting to the students. And strangely, one of my students happened to be Karthik Kalainyanam. And if you can relate to Karthik as Shanmuga imparting lessons to Lord Shiva, like that, I learned so much from him while I was directing his supervision. So I've taken too much time. I should stop here. Thank you very much. Vanakkam, nandri.
Thank you, Professor. It's my honor to invite Professor Ram Mohan Narayan onto the dais. So please be seated. May I also request Professor Nagendra Krishnapura to the dais to read out the citation for Professor Ram Mohan.
It's a pleasure to read out the citation for Professor Ram Mohan Narayanan. He is a professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering in the Pennsylvania State University. He received his bachelor's degree from here in '76, and then he went on to earn his PhD from the University of Massachusetts. His research interests include electromagnetic scattering, radar signal processing, and wireless communications. He has authored or co-authored more than 500 technical papers and has received numerous awards, including the IEEE Warren D. White Award for outstanding contributions in radar processing. In addition to research accomplishments, he has also served as associate editor of many journals and has contributed immensely to tutorials at conferences and in general education in this area. Throughout his career, he has held many academic appointments. Prior to joining Pennsylvania State University, he was in the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and before that in the University of Massachusetts Amherst. He also held design and engineering positions in Bharat Electronics. And he has made a lot of contributions to the field of electromagnetics, and he is a fellow of the IEEE, SPIE, and IETE. And he has also won many university awards for research, teaching, and service. Overall, his work has made significant contributions to the field of electromagnetic scattering, radar signal processing, and wireless communications, and he is recognized as one of the leading experts in the world in these areas. For all these achievements, the IIT Madras and our department and all the alumni are proud to confer the Distinguished Alumni Award to Dr. Ram Mohan Narayanan.
Thank you, Professor. I request our director to honor Professor Ram Mohan with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2023 and adorn him with the Angavastram. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Professor Ram Mohan. Professor Ram Mohan, may I invite you to deliver your acceptance speech?
Thanks to everybody for awarding me this great honor. This is a very unexpected but very welcome honor. And when I look at the word alma mater, I looked it up, the meaning of the word, and it means nourishing mother. And the alma mater is a mother that nourishes you with education which touches you for the rest of your entire life. Please recall the time that you were a kid. You always wanted appreciation from your amma. You did everything, you were naughty and all that, but at the end of the day, you wanted amma to say, you are a good boy or a good girl. So, my amma has said that I'm a good boy, so I'm very proud of that. Many other people have helped me to be where I am today. Of course, the first and foremost are the parents, family, friends support, children, students. I cannot, if I start naming, we'll be here until the end of time. So I want to just say that I'll just collectively name everybody and say these are the people that have helped me, and so I stand here humbled because of their support and appreciation of my work that has helped me to come here so forward. IIT Madras has taught many things. When we came here in 1976, everything was different, and we were electrical engineers, but those days it was under the West German support. And they basically said, you cannot just be stovepiped into electrical engineering. You have to learn engineering as a whole. So we did workshop one whole week. I complained. I said, why should I go and do workshop and do smithy and filing and everything? But now, as an engineer, I realize the value of that education. We learned courses in not only electromagnetics, but also in thermodynamics, which is a difficult subject in mechanical engineering. We hated Prandtl numbers and fluid mechanics and all of that stuff. But I see now, as I went through as an engineer in Bharat Electronics and as a faculty member, you are not just a single person, you are a complete person. And one thing I've learned in my life, if I have to offer any advice, people generally don't listen to other people's advices, that always if you have a goal, always I do what is called contingency management. That is, if path A doesn't work, think when you're cool, what is path B? Think when you're cool, what could be path C, so that you're not confronted with it and you're tense and you're looking at it. Now, another person that I have to thank that is my nominator. He is Mr. Ajita Rajendra, who is a former DAA, and if it were not for his support, he kept telling me, Ram Mohan, you're going to get the award. I said, Aji, no, but he kept his faith in me, and that was very important and supported me to go for the award. Finally, when we are all here, we all crave fame and fortune. And IIT Madras has given me all the tools to give me fame and fortune. And I've received fame and fortune in other ways too. And there is, despite the fact that I've left IIT Madras and my mother, my real mother has also passed on, there has been one mother that is mothering me all the time, making sure I do the right thing. And that is my fame and fortune. Vijaya Lakshmi, my wife Vijaya Lakshmi. There she is. Please stand up. Please stand up. Thank you very much. Thank you, and certainly my children for always chastising me. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. It's my absolute delight to invite Mr. Naveen Tahilyani to the dais. Welcome, sir. I now request Professor Nagendra Krishnapura to read out the citation for Mr. Naveen Tahilyani.
It's a pleasure to read out the citation for Naveen Tahilyani. He is also my immediate senior at IIT Madras. And in spite of a long gap, he remembers IITM very well because as soon as he entered, he went straight to the back benches. So he is an alumnus of two of India's most prestigious institutions, the Indian Institute of Technology and the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He graduated in the top decile of his class and has had an illustrious career, and he is presently serving as MD and CEO of Tata AIA Life Insurance. After his master's in business administration, he joined McKinsey & Co., where he was senior partner and head of the financial institutions group, overseeing India and Southeast Asia. He led the recruitment efforts for India office for more than 5 years and was a member of Global Partner Election Committee. At McKinsey, he worked with some of the largest public, private, and foreign financial services. He joined Tata AIA in 2015 as the managing director and chief executive officer. Under his stewardship, the company has scripted profitable growth by nurturing a performance-oriented culture and consumer-centric business model. It is ranked number 1 and is also recognized as best employee, best place to work, etc., etc. So apart from being actively involved as the non-ex-officio member of the Governing Council at the Insurance Information Bureau, he's been a member of several committees set up by the regulator, including the Regulatory Review Committee, which was tasked by the IRDAI to suggest comprehensive changes to the regulatory framework of the industry. For his immense contribution to the field of finance, IIT Madras, its alumni are proud to bestow this award on Naveen Tahilyani.
Thank you, Professor. I request our director to honor Mr. Naveen Tahilyani with a Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2023 and adorn him with the Angavastram. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Mr. Naveen. Mr. Naveen, I request you to please deliver your acceptance speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is, of course, a joy and an honor to be here today, and thank you to IIT Madras for this award. But at the same time, I must say, particularly looking at the awardees who came before me, I feel quite like an imposter on two counts. One is, I feel like I am out of time. In the sense that when, Professor Rajan Vardarajan talked about when he was starting to lecture here, I was just about getting born at that time. So that is one reason I feel a little out of time. And the other reason I feel a little out of place is that everybody has had such fantastic accomplishments in the field of technology, engineering. After all, this is IIT. And my accomplishment and award is for finance. And much as the corporate world would like to make finance a very complex and difficult topic, let me assure you that the level of technical complexity in finance ends where the level of technical complexity starts in engineering. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. In fact, I joined life insurance industry in 2015, and one of the actuaries there refused to explain something to me because he said, it's too complex, you will not understand it. And I said, okay, no problem, I can take you up on that if you can solve this one simple calculus problem that is a JE level entry problem. And the guy wrestled with it for a couple of hours and then gave up and went away, and after that he never told me that he could never explain anything to me because I would not understand it. But today is about not me, it is about honoring a few people who may have made an immense contribution to my life in many different ways. And any institute, I think, is hardware and software put together. And I would like to talk about the software aspect of this institute, which is the faculty and the students. And I'm sorry, I'm going to read out a few names. Many of you here may not know them, may not relate to them. Some of you will. But this was my microcosm of IIT Madras. And the first one is, in corporate world, we value structure, discipline, problem solving quite a lot. And the first person to teach us that here was Professor Antony Reddy, God bless his soul. And he also gave us a lot of, grounding in stress management. I think if you attended his classes, any corporate situation of even remote stress or extreme stress was nothing compared to the terror you would experience when he would hold the chalk like this and threaten to drop it on the floor. I would also like to say that Professor K.R.K. Rao, who taught the same course, also had a big influence because he showed that there are many different paths to the same destination and how you could, invent your own way of doing this. Professor V.J.K. Murthy, who was an embodiment of knowledge, expertise, world-class knowledge, world-class expertise, but ever so humble and ever so approachable. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, a brilliant young professor when we were here. I think he showed us that knowledge and excellence can be channeled into a vision of delivering and creating something fantastic. My guide, Professor V.V. Rao, who showed that there is a place for diligence and wisdom in this world. Professor Junjunwala, who showed us you can be multifaceted, straddle the world of technology and corporate world. And by the way, without quite realizing it, he was also teaching us to be marketing, a marketeer par excellence. In fact, I learned more marketing from him than I learned at business school, if I am honest about it. And last but not the least, Professor Dilip, God bless his soul, who tried in vain to teach us young guys the value of social sciences and humanities, which at that time we didn't appreciate, but we do now. So I would really want to, mention these folks for the stellar contribution that they made to the lives of many, many, many students, not just me, I'm sure. I think the other aspect of the software is the students and my colleagues. And there were a few lighthouse colleagues like, Satya Kama is here today. There were a few others like him, Srinivas, Rajiv Yunni, Shanti Pavan is here as well. And whenever we felt, that we were doing a little good, we had to look at what these guys were doing and learn to, kind of ground ourselves and make sure that we were not getting ahead of ourselves. My batchmates, wingmates, and a lot of my friends today who are here from school, from IIT, from business school, who have shown that friendship is unconditional. Friendship is unconditional, and frankly, that unconditional friendship really helps you get through the 4 years here and life after that. My wife, I'm not going to embarrass her by asking her to stand, but really she's made an immense contribution to keeping me grounded and level-headed and focused. And as I said, amongst friends, one of my greatest friends, Krishnan, who is actually solely responsible for the fact that I'm standing here, because now I figured out he was the guy who nominated me for this award. So friendship is very important, and it teaches you everything in life is not quid pro quo. The last point I'll make is it's so heartening to see the contributions and the advancement IIT is making in different fields. And in the last 20 years, technology has brought the world of engineering and corporate world together quite a bit. So I personally am looking forward to interacting more with IIT in the field of AI, ML, analytics, data, which I think is going to be powering the corporate world more and more as we move forward. So I'm looking forward to that set of interactions. And I don't still quite know how to interpret this award ceremony and this function. So I'll leave you with a few lines from one of an exalted poem, which says, not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end and way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. With that, thank you everyone. Wonderful to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Naveen. Thank you, Professor. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Mr. Karthik Sharma onto the dais. Please be seated, sir. I now request Professor Chandramouli to read out the citation for Mr. Karthik Sharma.
I am extremely happy to read the citation for Mr. Karthik Sharma, 1996 BTech in Mechanical Engineering, founder and managing partner, SRS Investment Management, USA. Karthik Sharma, who was known as Fido on campus, and I am assuming is from the 7-Up ad, completed his undergraduate degree in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Madras in 1996. He stayed in the Ganga hostel and was commonly spotted playing football or bridge late into the night, much like my classmates. So he still fondly remembers his SPT and bun omelets from Tarams and Maggi noodles from Cork. Karthik believes that his 4 years at IIT were the most formative years of his life, which set the foundation for his future endeavors. Karthik went on to receive a master's degree in operations research and financial engineering from Princeton University, and subsequently joined McKinsey as a consultant in New York. In 2001, Karthik joined the hedge fund Tiger Global within a few months of its launch. He had a very successful career at Tiger, where he quickly rose to become a managing director and partner at the firm. In 2006, given Karthik's strong entrepreneurial spirit, he launched his own firm, SRS Investment Management. He named the firm in honor of his father, SRS being his father's initials, who he lost when he was only 15. SRS invests globally across the technology, media, consumer, and industrial sectors and manages approximately $10 billion. SRS has been a partner to public and private companies, helping them maximize their long-term potential, and in this capacity, Karthik has served on several boards. Over the past 17 years, SRS has become one of the best performing hedge funds in the world. Karthik is indebted to IIT Madras and believes he has both the responsibility and the privilege to give back to his alma mater in some capacity. Currently, Karthik is supporting the creation and development of a wellness center with dedicated leadership on campus. The goal of the center is to establish a set of services and resources, including peer support, counseling, workshops, and classes to promote mental health and well-being on campus. His own experiences seeing friends succumb to academic pressures and depression has motivated him to contribute to a best-in-class program that aims to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health and offer students at IITM the services and support they rightly deserve. IIT Madras and its alumni are tremendously elated to bestow the Distinguished Alumni Award upon Mr. Karthik Sharma and hope his achievements in the areas of entrepreneurship and finance inspire the next generation of IIT graduates.
Thank you, Professor. I request our director to honor Mr. Karthik Sharma with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2023 and adorn him with the Angavastram. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Mr. Karthik Sharma. Mr. Karthik, I request you to please deliver your acceptance speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Kamakoti, Mahesh, Professor Chandramouli, all the faculty here, and a very good afternoon to everyone over here today. Getting an award like this from a world-class institute like IIT Madras is, of course, a great honor, and I feel extremely privileged. But, you know, it has added personal significance for me. IIT gave me purpose and direction at a time I needed it most in my life. Let me kind of tell you why. So back in 1990, I was 15 years old. We'd lived in Kuwait for the past 13 years. And, sorry. Some water.
So there's water. So there's water here.
Yeah, so we'd lived in Kuwait for the past 13 years. And we were visiting India for our summer vacation. On August 2nd, you know, we heard that Kuwait was invaded by Iraq. And my dad very quickly realized that we weren't going back to Kuwait anytime soon. So he very quickly scrambled with the help of Professor Santanam, who is sitting here. So nice to see you, sir. He was able to get me admission into a school, PSBB KK Nagar, in the middle of the school year. And on August 10th, which is a Friday, I joined the school. And on August 12th, unfortunately, my dad passed away. It was definitely the hardest moment in my life. And it's those moments that either kind of make you or break you. And you have to decide at that point, are you going to kind of dwell in self-pity and grief, or are you going to move forward? My dad was always my hero. And as the announcer said, you know, I've also named my firm after him, so he's my inspiration in everything I do. And so I decided I had to move forward. And you know, my dad's one of his dreams was that I join IIT. And so, with the help of Professor Santanam and other amazing teachers, Professor Balasubramaniam, I worked hard, harder than I ever worked in my life before. And for the next 18 months, I was extremely focused and fortunately able to get in. I think that period in my life was the foundation for everything I've achieved since then. It kind of taught me that no adversity is insurmountable. And if you put your mind to it, you can just tackle any obstacle. And all obstacles after that just seem very small. My 4 years at IIT were very much the same, very, very confidence boosting. And I just loved it here. IIT has given me a ton of things. Some of my best friends, Sanjeev's here, they're all, I met them at IIT. Some amazing faculty, Professor GS, who was my advisor, mentor. Can't see him here, but there he is. Yeah, and my first real professor friend, who really believed in me, and so thank you for that. It also gave me a lot of credibility throughout my life. Wherever I went, the IIT stamp, people assumed you were smart. Whether it was true or not, you just got that. You just got the benefit of the doubt. And I was telling some people yesterday, that I think, 20 years ago when I was in a line trying to get into a club in New York, and there was a girl behind me in line, I think dropping the IIT name might have helped me get her phone number. She says she's not sure why she gave me the number, but I think that had part to do with it. I was actually earlier asked to give some advice to the young IITians. So I'll give 2 pieces of advice. The first piece of advice I'd say is dream big, and definitely don't be afraid to carve your own path. Do not constrain yourself in any way to any preconceived notions of, hey, this is what IITians should do. As you can tell from all the awardees, people have done different things. Just do, put your mind to anything you want, and nothing is unachievable. And I've met many young IITians here. You're all way smarter and way more capable than I was at your age. So you can achieve anything you want. And the second kind of related comment I have is, whatever dream you have, your path is not going to be linear. So learn to roll with the punches. You have to believe in yourself. You have to learn that you can overcome any challenge. And in fact, those challenges are the biggest learning moments for all of us in our lives. So don't get bogged down and just fight through any adversity. Any award like this is never an individual accomplishment. A lot of people have kind of had a real impact on me that have helped me get here. I mentioned a couple of my mentors. The first person I'd like to recognize here is my mom. My mom has, I think she's instilled kind of values in me that truly define me. So thank you, Ma. My sister, who is my second mother, so she kind of took, when I moved to the US, she just made life so easy for me. My brother-in-law, my grandparents, when I moved back to India from Kuwait, they just took us into their house, and they just didn't make me feel like I needed anything. Like, they just gave me anything I wanted, and immense love, and that was fantastic. My aunt, uncle, they're here. Muthu uncle, Rama auntie, Dilip, Gayatri, you guys are a second family to me. I can keep naming a lot more people, but there's a few people I want to name. And of course, my partner, Sheila, for the last 20 years. Anything and everything I do, you've had such an integral part of that, so thank you. And last, but definitely not least, Arjun and Rohan, you have shown me true happiness, so thank you. I'd like to end by saying that IIT Madras, you really honored me with this tremendous award, so thank you. I hope to honor you back every day by the way I work and live. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Karthik. Thank you, Professor Mauli. I now invite Professor Venkatesan Guruswamy onto the dais. Welcome, sir. May I request Professor Krishna Nandivada to read out the citation for Professor Venkatesan.
Good morning, all. I see the DAA award should have one more word. It's about inspiration, that they all inspire. I have the distinctive honor of introducing and reading the citation of three such inspiring figures. The first one is Professor Venkatesan Guruswamy. Venkatesan Guruswamy received his bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology Madras in 1997 and his PhD in computer science from MIT in 2001. He is now a Chancellor's Professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, Senior Scientist at the Simons Institute for the Theory of Computing, and Professor of Mathematics at the University of California, Berkeley. Dr. Guruswamy was a Miller Research Fellow at UC Berkeley during 2001-2002 and previously held faculty positions in computer science at the University of Washington and CMU. Dr. Guruswamy's research interests span many areas of theoretical computer science and related mathematics, including error correction, approximation, optimizations, randomness in computing, combinatorics, and computational complexity. Dr. Guruswamy has served the theory of computing community in several leadership roles. He currently serves as Editor-in-Chief of the Journal of the ACM, editor for the Theory TCS, and was previously Editor-in-Chief of ACM Transactions and Computational Theory and on the editorial boards of Siam Journal on Computing, JACM, IEEE Transactions and Information Theory. He is the Vice Chair of IEEE Technical Committee on Mathematical Foundations of Computing and a moderator for archive cs.it. He has been in the program committee chair for several conferences such as CCS, FOX, ICIT, FSTTCS, ITCS, etc. And he is also a former president of the Computational Complexity Foundation. Dr. Guruswamy has a long list of stellar achievements. He is the recipient of a Simons Investigator Award, the Pressburger Award, Packard, Sloan, and Guggenheim Fellowships, the ACM Doctoral Dissertation Award, and an IEEE Information Theory Society Paper Award. He was an invited speaker at the 2010 International Congress of Mathematicians held in Hyderabad. Dr. Guruswamy is also a fellow of the ACM, AMS, and IEEE. To acknowledge his great laurels, IIT Madras and its alumni take immense pride in bestowing this award.
Thank you, Professor. I request our director to adorn Professor Venkatesan with the Angavastram and honor him with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2023. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Professor Venkatesan. Professor Venkatesan, I request you to please deliver your acceptance speech.
So thank you very much to the Alumni Association and the Awards Committee for this kind and inspiring award. I'm truly honored and touched by this recognition. And it's also a privilege to actually get this award from Director Professor Kamakoti. He was a PhD student here when I was an undergrad, and I used to see him back then, and it's just amazing to see him take over the helm of this institute and do such amazing initiatives in the last couple of years, and I look forward to great things continuing. So it's a real privilege to receive this award from you. And I've been fortunate to receive some nice professional awards, but this one is really extra special. It's really heartwarming to be recognized by one's alma mater. It was said it's the nourishing mother, like it's a mother giving you an award. And it really brings back so many good memories, and you also reflect on all the good fortune you had, all the opportunities, all the choices you made, because lots of things have to line up in life to take you where you are. I mean, it's not just your effort. That's, of course, important. but really all those factors. And all of that really kind of starts at one's college. And so it's real honor to get this award. And I was actually first in this, it's actually serendipitous that this moved here to this auditorium, because I was first in this auditorium just over 30 years ago, so probably July or August 1993, for the orientation or welcoming thing. And I had somehow missed the fact that for some reason, probably having to do with the JEE, I was expected to come on stage and say a few words. And so I didn't know about this, so I nervously mumbled some unprepared remarks. So this is take 2 of that, but this time I had a little more notice, except some very amazing speeches to follow, so that makes it much harder. But luckily, there's technology, so you can, do notes. So let me see if it goes better this time. So I'll begin, Mata Pita Guru Devam. So I'll start by thanking the one person who's probably would be even happier than me about getting this award than I myself could be, and that's of course my mother. 30 years ago, again 1993, when I wrote the JEE, she accompanied me to IIT to check my rank on the notice board, and so my IIT journey really began with her. That's how I found out I got into IIT, my JEE rank and all those things. And this is not that many youngsters here, so there may be some who are confused. You come to a notice board to find your rank, you don't go to the website. No, this was a long time ago, so that's what you did. My mother is unfortunately no longer with us. She passed away just before COVID, and I really miss her in ways I cannot articulate, but I would like to dedicate this award to her memory. And a few good professional things, many unexpected, have happened to me in the last 3 years, including a couple of nice fellowships and, of course, this very nice recognition. So I know that she and her well-wishers are still here in spirit with me. So thank you, Amma. So my dad couldn't make it here today, unfortunately, but I'll hope he'll see the recording. For someone, and again, this was mentioned in Professor Varadarajan's speech, I think, sacrifice by parents is in their DNA, and for Indian parents, it's even at a different level. And for someone who used to give me rides on a scooter all the time when I was growing up, including my IIT days, when I should have been more independent, but I had a very protected childhood, he would pick me up from the bus stop because, I would haul my laundry home on the weekends and whatnot. And obviously no cell phones to coordinate, so he'll just patiently wait and never complain one bit. And so it's a bit unfortunate that he's quite frail these days and couldn't make it here, but at least I'll show him the award, and I'm sure he'll be happy and proud. And thanks to IITM for live streaming the event and recording it, so that's great. More to my family, so now to people who are here, and I'm very happy about that. So my sister and niece are here, and they're both doctors, and in fact they did a surgery just this morning and still made it in time to be here to cheer me, so thank you. And I should also say I'm eternally grateful to my sister, especially my brother-in-law and my niece, for really bearing the responsibility the past several years for caring for my aging parents, first my mom during her illness, and now my dad. And of course this is great, and I owe them a big thing, but this also indirectly plays a key role in my success. I can live in the US and do, focus on my things because of their sacrifices too. So, and I'm thrilled that my wife is here, videographing this and all my remarks. And, for all her love and support, and for putting up with my really poor work-life balance. And once again, it's like, I get this award, but behind this, there's a lot of other people's sacrifice. And I couldn't keep up with all my work demands without her heavy lifting at home, which she actually does on top of her own demanding career. So that's amazing, and huge thanks. I won't embarrass her by asking her to stand up, but can give her a thing. And thanks to our daughter, she's sitting next to my wife, for providing much joy and a much needed different dimension in our lives. While also making us realize how hard parenting sometimes can be, but it gives you a perspective. But we wouldn't have it anyway, and I'm just thrilled seeing it develop each day. So now I'm taking some time, but I want to talk about IIT too, coming to some academic aspects. I chose computer science without really knowing much about it. And there aren't any academics even in my extended family, so I never really had an academic career in mind either. So somehow finding this field of theoretical computer science and getting into it is really one of the most incredible professional things which happened to me, and it obviously didn't happen in a vacuum. So I want to mention a few people at IIT who made this happen. This all began with a remarkable course in graph theory by Professor S.A. Chowdhury. And really, words cannot do justice to how awesome his teaching was and this course was. And so that really hooked me. And then I had a sequence of 3 theoretical computer science courses with Professor P. Srinivasa Kumar, who's actually here today. So thank you, sir. And the rigor and style of that subject matter really captivated me. And in addition to doing well in these courses, I was soon fortunate to work with Professor Pandurangan on quite a lot of research in my 3rd and 4th years. And Professor Pandurangan, who is unfortunately out of country today, so he couldn't be here, but I'm sure his well-wishes are with me always. And he has this amazing knack of engaging undergraduates in research, and I also really benefited from that. And all that really made me realize that I could really do computer science. My real love was in math, but I realized that I could do computer science and theoretical computer science, which is essentially math, and really led me on to my academic journey. And nothing would have started but for these 3 professors, and of course all the others who taught me amazing classes here. And I also want to mention my peer group. One of the most amazing things at IIT is the peer group, and they're all very smart and talented, of course, but you would think they're all very nerdy, right? That's the public perception, but that's really far from the truth. I mean, they're all so multifaceted and so talented, and somehow sharing 4 formative years in close quarters of hostel life with them is really a most memorable life experience. And I made some of my best friends in college, and even though I don't maybe stay in touch with them regularly, I can pick up the phone and talk to them after a year's gap, and it'll be as if you haven't skipped a beat. And that's because of this immense shared context you have from the most formative stage of your life. So I want to give a big shout out to all the entire undergrad experience at IIT, which really is instrumental to where I am today, and everything started there. And obviously I can keep going on and on. This was just the start of my academic career. There is so much more. I really have to thank my wonderful PhD advisor, Professor Madhusudan, all the other collaborators I've had over the years. And last but not the least, really my incredible students and postdocs and other junior people I've had the pleasure of working with and mentoring. And this was also mentioned in another speech. They just seem to be better and better each generation. They teach you so much. They keep you humble. And it's just a real privilege to be a professor. And the most cherishable aspect of that is working with students. So on that high note, let me just stop here and thank IITM once again for this incredible honor, and thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Professor. It gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Vidya Srinivasan to the dais. Welcome, ma'am. I request Professor Krishna Nandivada to read out the citation for Ms. Vidya.
Thank you. Vidya Srinivasan graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science from IIT Madras in year 2000 before pursuing her MS in computer science from Georgia Institute of Technology. Vidya is a transformative leader and seasoned general manager with a career-long focus on applying technology to transform traditional business models across various industries, including crowd infrastructure, data analytics, ad technology, and digital marketing. She has held senior technical and executive roles at Google, Amazon, and IBM. Vidya currently leads the entire organization of engineers, data scientists, and product managers behind advertising on Google. Since joining Google, she has led the transformation of Google Analytics into a mobile-first paradigm with AI-driven insights. The launch of the new Search Ads 360 with a new, easier-to-use interface as well as new features and campaign types, pixel-less measurement for YouTube advertising, and cross-channel data-driven attribution of privacy-first advertisements in ads, Data Hub. Vidya also helped launch and drive industry-wide adoption of Performance Max, Google's first AI-powered goal-based campaign across search, YouTube, display, discover, Gmail, and Maps to help businesses of all sizes to achieve their goals. Over the last year, Vidya has been applying her expertise in large language models and AI to drive the development of new advertising solutions and formats. She is leading the evolution of ads in Google search and shopping experiences to align with consumer preferences, making search results more browsable and visibly immersive. Vidya and her team also recently launched a new AI-powered campaign type to help social advertisers capture the engagement and action of billions of users across YouTube, Discover, and Gmail. While at Amazon, Vidya built and scaled Amazon Redshift, the industry's first cloud-native data warehouse and AWS's fastest growing service for many years. She also led the development and rapid adoption of AWS Glue, a fully managed serverless extract, transform, and load service. In addition to her professional achievements, Vidya is an active contributor to the community. Vidya is fostering diverse teams and is a champion for diversity and inclusion in technology, serving as a mentor to several female leaders at Google and in the community. For her exemplary global leadership, vision in the analytics sector, commitment to excellence, and functional experience in diverse fields, including technology, engineering, product management, and operations, IIT Madras and its alumni are proud to confer this award upon Vidya Srinivas.
Thank you, Professor. I request our director to adorn Ms. Vidya with the Angavastram and honor her with the Distinguished Alumni Award for the year 2023. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Ms. Vidya. Ma'am, I request you to please deliver your acceptance speech.
Thank you so much for the award, and thank you for the whole team here, Professor Kamakoti, Professor Mahesh, and everybody. I have to say, I was very curious if I will also get an Angavastram, or if there is going to be a different version, a sari or something like that. I guess it's an Angavastram. So many firsts. So first thing, I was sitting right here in CLT. I have never been a first bencher ever. So that was a new way. I was trying to be a model for my children because we all pretend to be better than we are with them around. But truly, just a real honor to receive this award and for the recognition. And it is a bit daunting to go after so many other awardees. And I don't know if I have a lot to add along the perspectives that they had, but I would say it's interesting to give maybe a woman's view of career and success, which is maybe slightly different. I have been, IIT, like for everybody, it's a very personal experience. You come in, you're kind of like a piece of clay that you get molded with so many different things. I had the honor and privilege of being the only girl in my computer science class. It was about it was a batch of only 29 students, very small class, so 28 plus me. And contrary to popular belief that you can now be the center of attention to this, pool of very smart men, they were very, very hard to be with. Very often, my first years were spent where people would completely avoid me. If I sat in a row, nobody would sit in that row. In fact, the very first coding class that happened in second year when we came back, you had to do an assignment. All coding assignments are joint. You have to form groups of 3 or 4. Of course, my batch was in Godav, the rest of them, and they had all already figured out whom they will work with. And it was a practical consideration. They all wanted to work in the hostel, and girls can't go after 9 p.m., though I will apologize now for having broken that rule many times. And so when the teacher said, let's form groups, I was left literally and figuratively standing alone in a corner where nobody wanted me to be a part of their group, partly because they'll get dragged. But the other part was they can't work with me the same way. And at that time, being an awkward 17-year-old, I really felt very lonely and very alone and very different. And I had to sort of decide what to do from there. I could either sort of wallow in that feeling or figure a way out and try to deal with that. And I have to say, the biggest takeaway, there are so many things I learned here, but probably the biggest thing is to figure out how to be okay in uncomfortable situations, how to not just survive, but try to enjoy some parts of it, and have sort of a flywheel from there of saying, okay, there's something I like here, let me do more of that. And then finally, how to thrive in such uncomfortable situations. I would say, from a career perspective as well, I was always willing to take the jobs that other people did not want, who were similarly placed, because if something had a disproportionate outcome but was very messy and uncomfortable to get in, I would just run into it because that was just something I got used to. And that became almost like a competitive edge later in life. But that is not to take away the trauma of of my second year here. Like many before me, some incredible professors and students to be with. In fact, I would say a lot of the confidence, somebody else mentioned, people just give you, I think Karthik said this, people assume you're smart even before you start speaking. It's both a nice thing, but also sort of a responsibility. You're so conscious about what you're going to say after that. But a lot of it comes from the classmates and the students, because they really, in our batch, people used to watch when the other person turns off their light in the hostel room in the spirit of being competitive before quizzes. So it's a highly competitive environment, and if you survive this, you kind of know you will be okay in most other places, and that's been my experience. And again, the professors, Professor Pandurangan, his data structures and algorithms course was something. I was talking to Professor Kamakoti this morning about which were the courses that really stuck with me or I used later in my actual professional life. Data structures and algorithms was a big one, compilers. But so much of what I learned at such a deep level, and the teachers were so endearing and they taught it with so much passion, it really did stick with me. Now moving to sort of a more personal front, since this is about recognizing career success, I'm also, so apart from this, I'm also a proud mother of 4. 2 of them are here with me, Anya and Arya, my 8-year-old twins. I have 2 boys, Vikram, who's now doing his undergrad in NYU, and Vinay in 10th grade. And, a woman in tech with 4 kids, life gets hard. It gets hard at home because you're a mom. At the end of the day, your buck stops with you, and the expectations go up at home. And at work, the bias goes up because you're such an anti-pattern to what a successful person looks like that the default expectation is you're not going to be as good. And so there is a lot of help. In fact, one of the things I've told often to people is, and as many of you came up to receive your awards, I also wish I had a wife. I also wish I wish I could say somebody took care of everything for me, so I could, so I could focus. But I was fortunate to have a lot of support. My in-laws are here; they helped me raise my children for a long time. My aunts, in fact, my aunt and uncle took the brunt of all my laundry from going back. I have many of them here. So a lot of family support, but I really want to also recognize my parents. Apart from not making me feel like I was different because I was a girl growing up, and only much later I realized STEM was a thing that girls shouldn't do. It was, and I'm hoping, this is why I brought these two here, I'm hoping they don't have that, have those notions. But they have helped me so much with whatever I needed, whenever I needed. To be peaceful at work, to do your best work, you kind of have to know the kids and everything else is taken care of, and they were just there for me every step of the way, in any which way I wanted. And I don't think, especially being a mom, it is very hard to hand it off to paid help to do things like that. So I'm extremely fortunate to have people around me who helped me immensely on those fronts. But I will still say it is harder. It is harder to get it done at the end of the day. So with that, again, thanks again for recognizing me. Ultimately, I do think a lot of the success I've had at work, but also more broadly in life, the confidence that I was able to build, I owe it to IIT Madras. I'm proud to be a part of the institution, and I feel honored that I now have a chance to give back, give forward to other graduates, as well as to hopefully continue to represent IIT Madras in the way it deserves to be, with a lot of pride. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vidya. Hearty congratulations on receiving this award. It gives me great pleasure to invite the recipient of the Young Alumni Achiever Award, Professor Vyas Shekhar. Sir, please come over to the dais. I request Professor Krishna Nandiwada to read out the citation for Professor Vyas.
To my third citation, not least, of course. Yes, Professor Vyas Shekhar is a highly accomplished individual who has made significant contributions to the field of computer science with specialized work in intersection of networking, security, and systems. He is currently a professor at CMU. He is also a member of the advisory board of leading cybersecurity ventures, Scalar Computing, Linear, and Armoblogs. Apart from his position at CMU, Professor Shekhar has held several other positions in his career. He was a research scientist at Intel Research Berkeley, as well as Intel Science and Technology Center for Secure Computing. He worked as an assistant professor at Stony Brook University, after which he went on to teach at CMU. He has served on numerous top technical program committees, NSF panels, and organized leading conferences including Hotnets, IMC, and NSDI. Furthermore, he has also served as a mentor for students and junior faculty at CMU and beyond, where he played an important role in organizing future faculty workshops and early career panels that many students and early career researchers have benefited from. Professor Shekhar's academic background includes BTech in CSE from IIT Madras, followed by PhD in CS from CMU. His seminal research contributions focus on the areas of programmable software-defined networks and network functions, network security, data-driven networking to support performance and security, testing and verifying that these are operating as intended, and novel network telemetry capabilities and IoT security. With significant academic and practical impact, all of these have had. Family professorship at ECE, IRTF Applied Networking Research Prize at 2020, Eta Kappa Nu Award for Outstanding Faculty Teaching 2018, Google Faculty Research Award, Cisco Faculty Research Award, ACM SIGCOM Rising Awards, and among others are some of his important and visible awards. Outside his capacity as teaching faculty, he has also shared his expertise through plenary talk at ACM Stock 2018, Theory Fest, invited keynote at 10th International Conference on Information System Security 2014, and invited talk at ComsNet 2017. He has also made regular contributions to research by presenting award-winning papers at conferences like ACM SIGCOM, ACM CoNext, ACM Multimedia, and so on. He also holds many patents on the contributions he has made towards improvements of video streaming and cybersecurity systems. For his achievements and contributions towards scientific innovation, the Indian Institute of Technology Madras and its alumni are very proud to confer Professor Vyas Shekhar with YAAA Award for 2022. And importantly, it's the inaugural YAAA Award.
I request our director to adorn Professor Vyas Shekhar with the Angavastram and honor him with the Young Alumni Achiever Award for the year 2023. I request Professor Mahesh to present the oil painting to Professor Vyas. I now request Professor Vyas Shekhar to deliver his acceptance speech.
This is an incredible honor. So thank you very much, Director Kamakodi sir, Professor Mahesh, Professor Nandiwada, and the Alumni Association for this incredible honor and selecting me as the inaugural the Young Alumni Achievement Award. I feel extremely privileged to be here. I think, and that's a word I don't want to throw lightly. So we are all, at least I feel extremely privileged. I think the first level of privilege is actually family. I'm privileged to have like a very supportive family. I think those who were at dinner yesterday, my family complains I don't tell them anything, and they've let me do whatever I want in life. And that's a privilege to actually have a very supporting family. My grandparents who actually believed in me for a long time, my parents, my grandparents are no more, my parents, my aunt and uncle. I'm extremely privileged to have this very, very supportive family who actually just let me do whatever I want. They've never actually asked me, why are you doing what you're doing? So which is actually an incredible privilege to have. The second privilege I would say I've had is actually the opportunity to study and at world-class institutions. First, IIT Madras. This is actually an incredible privilege. I think people don't see, don't actually, maybe when you're here, those 4 years, you actually don't realize the privilege that you actually have at studying at this like world-class institution with this like sort of world-class brand name, right? So IIT Madras, many people said it's like a, okay, you got like entry at a club. So beyond that brand name has other benefits too, Karthik. So I think of the privileges comes as sort of three forms, right? One is actually a foundation. It sort of gives you like a technical foundation for life of things that you learn. And even there's like small bits that happen in those foundation, I still remember to this day. So Professor Kamakoti taught us Verilog and operating systems. I think we were his first batch or second batch, first or second batch, first batch. Okay. And he was an enthusiastic assistant prof, which meant that we got all the hit from him. So he used to grill us on all the project presentations. Okay. So we got S, but the S came with a lot of hard work. We were grilled in all those questions and project presentations for Verilog and OS projects, and I still remember answering his questions, all those tough questions. So that actually gave you a tough, sort of that tough grilling actually gives you a foundation. It's like anybody asks me a question at a conference now, I'm like, okay, this is easy peasy, right? I can answer this, anything that comes my way now. Another also remember, I know Professor GS is here. Thank you, sir. So one of my thesis, I remember this to the day. I did a minor in operations research. I had no idea what operations research was at the time. So thank you for teaching me that. And I say this because one of my thesis committee members randomly told me once that even though I work in computer systems, he said like, you're actually an operations research guy. And I'm like, wait, why do you say this? He's like, okay, everything you do has like some theoretical formulation, some linear program, and I should thank, or maybe I'd blame GS for that. Thank you, sir. So, and these are all small things, right? It actually, that technical foundation stays with you for life, doesn't go away, right? Again, the second F I would say is like the faculty and the facilities here is like world class. I think I've had the opportunity to interact with a lot of faculty, learned a lot from them. As I became a prof, I had no idea I was going to become a prof. I think, as like Venkat also said, nobody in my extended family was a prof. So if you told me like 20 years ago, you're going to be a prof at Carnegie Mellon, I'd be like, okay, what does being a prof entail? I have no idea, right? So we had no idea, no mental model of what a prof means. So those are all, these are the faculty who are like the role models and the inspirations for teaching you, like giving you a mental model of what it means to be a good prof to students. I would say a third level of privilege I've had is actually having an extended network of like well-wishers, advisors, mentors, students. And I actually say this because I feel like they believe in me way more than I ever will, right? So that network, that's the network that nominated me as like, okay, that actually brought me here. And that's a privilege that I would be very, very thankful for. And finally, I also feel like incredibly lucky in addition to all this privilege. I think Venkat mentioned there's a lot of non-linearity in life. Things are not as always linear. I'll say one thing. One of the first non-linearities was me getting into IIT CS. According to my rank, I would not have made it to IIT CS. Because I think if you did all the counts, I think at the time IIT CS only had 30 seats, and all the other IITs are only 30 seats. My rank was like 127. So according to math, I would not have gotten IIT CS if everybody had chosen rationally and got into CS. There were 3 people who did not. So that is the first level of luck and non-linearity in my life that got me into IIT CS. And there are many, many other things where there are these intangibles and there are these sort of non-linear lucks that happen. And I mentioned this privilege and so on, being a part of IITM and being a part of this sort of IITM alumni. It is not just the sort of the technical foundation and other stuff, but actually, I think many people have said this, is it actually brings a bunch of like intangible benefits, right? The intangibles matter a lot more than your GPA or getting an S in operating systems, which is hard, by the way, right? I will take that any day, but there are also a bunch of intangibles. The first intangible, I think, is actually belief. You're walking in through CLT first year. I think for those of you who like statistics and probability, JEE is sampling a tail of a tail of a tail of a tail, right? It's the cream of the statistics. It's the rightmost end of the spectrum of like super smart people who have gotten here. The fact that you can enter and you can actually compete, collaborate with the best minds in the world actually gives you a sense of belief. It's like you can actually have a debate at 3 a.m. with anybody on any topic on the wing cart, gives you a sense of belief that you can actually do that. It also gave access to an incredible peer group, right? All these peers are like extremely illustrious, extremely accomplished, and they're like friends for life, as Venkat also mentioned, right? And then the last thing I would say is the intangible is the IITM brand opens doors for you wherever you go, right? First of all, there's an extended network of incredibly accomplished IITM alumni who are willing to help you anything you do. In addition, the brand name obviously opens doors, even at clubs in New York, apparently. So. Sorry, Karthik. And the last part is that coming back to this nonlinear journey and the fact that you don't always expect to do what you wanted to do. I had no idea that I was going to do computer science. I had no idea I wanted to do a PhD. I had no idea I wanted to be in academia or research. But the good thing about IITM is like for anything you ever want to do in life, whether it's industry, whether it's like academia, whether it's like being in the business world, there's always role models to look up to at every stage of life, every stage of any path, any dimension you want to take. There is like some role model to look up to and aspire to and say, okay, if I can be like half as good as that person, okay, I've done something good in life. All right, so final remarks. I won't keep you. I'm the last person between you and lunch, I believe, so I'll stop here. I'd end with one thing, right? I'm actually in equal parts honored, humbled, and incredibly scared. It's daunting, as Vidya said. It's like, what have I done to achieve this, right? Have I actually justified it? Have I actually earned this? Which means that I actually have to now go back and work harder to actually justify this. So I take this as an advance for working harder and earning it, sir. Thank you. And thank you very much again.
Professor, your phone. Thank you, Professor Vyas. Thank you, Professor Krishna. May I now invite Mr. Kaviraj Nair, the CEO of the Office of Institutional Advancement, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sharon. Wow, what an event. With so many stars in the room, with so much of positive energy. I'm also an alumnus from the 95-99 batch, and the best part of my job was this opportunity to interact with all the alumni of IIT Madras like this. First and foremost of all, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to all the winners of today's alumni award, today's DA awards. I'll name them: Mr. R. Madhavan, Professor Rajan Varadarajan, Professor Ram Mohan Narayanan, Mr. Naveen Tahiliani, Mr. Karthik Sharma, Professor Venkat Guruswamy, Ms. Vidya Srinivasan, and Professor Vyas Shekhar. All your achievements and all the inspirational stories and the experiences that you shared, I think it's far better than going through any of the motivational classes or any of that. There is so much of positive energy here right now. Thank you for your august presence and for accepting the awards here. Thank you so much to our director, Professor Kamakoti, and Dean, Professor Mahesh Panjaknula, for giving away the awards here. We express our sincere gratitude to the relatives of all the award winners here today, to all the, the friends and relatives of the award winners here, to the faculty members and the HODs of IIT Madras here who have done immense contribution in shaping, in positively influencing and shaping the destinies of so many students, and which they continue to do even today. Thank you so much to all your contributions and for attending the event today. Our sincere gratitude to the students of IIT Madras who are present here, to the IIT Madras the eminent members of the IIT Madras Alumni Charitable Trust who are here, and last but not the least, to the members of our ACR office team who made this event possible with all the preparations for the last so many weeks and all of that, and to the ICSR technical team. Thank you so much, and thank you for the wonderful event, and I invite you to the lunch and the event after this. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, and the distinguished awardees, we thank each and every one of you for gracing this occasion and making it a special and a memorable one. I request you to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everyone. I request all the awardees to please come on to the stage for a group photograph.